My beloved child, I see your weariness and your bafflement at its cause. There are nights when your heart pounds, and yet you keep pretending to be strong. I know you fear stopping because stopping feels like admitting you are growing weak. But right within that fragile moment, I am already seeking a way to rescue you from something worse, the hush that falls when a heart goes silent. I did not fashion you to race toward exhaustion or to take pride in your fatigue. Every heartbeat is my gentle knock-a-bell that asks you are alive, but are you truly living? Many think heartache is merely a bodily ailment. In truth, it is the cry of a soul long unfed. Your heart needs more than blood. It needs to be loved, to rest, to be tended like a little child. I do not want you to live in fear, yet I cannot watch you destroy yourself through neglect. This body is not your possession. It is the dwelling where I abide. When the heart grows weak, my word within you grows faint. So learn to tend each breath, each step, each meal, as though you were keeping watch over a living temple. Do not confuse strength with never stopping. You were not born to run yourself to the edge, but to walk in wakefulness. Caring for your health is not self-indulgence. It is gratitude and obedience. When the body is worn thin, the mind grows murky, and the heart no longer holds the stillness to hear my whisper. Honor this body as a sacred part of the mission you bear, for a rested body is where the word can resound most clearly. Child, I see how you treat your own frame as if it were only a machine that must never cease. You wring out the last drops of strength and forget to breathe in peace. But know this: every time you starve the body, you wound the soul. This body was not made to be forced into serving shapeless cravings or nameless ambitions. It was formed to become my dwelling. Have I not said, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit? 1 Corinthians 6:1-9. Whenever you lose sight of this, you turn a holy temple into a stark brick kiln, dusty, cold, and desolate. You often think yourself strong because you endure every ache and keep standing though spent. In truth, that is not strength, but erosion. I do not need you to be strong in that way. I need you to stop when your heart stammers, to listen when your body pleads for rest. You do not understand why I allow your fatigue, but your weariness is the way I knock. I do not wish to see you proud in your self-ruin. When the body frays, the mind grows dim, the heart chills like ash, and amid those ashes, you can no longer hear me. At times, indifference to the body is itself a sign of pride. You imagine you can face everything alone, that I will always make up the difference. But I do not compensate for carelessness. I heal when you recognize the worth of what you have neglected. The body is a gift I give not to imprison you, but to teach you humility in a material world. When you force your heart to labor in unrest, when you let your sleep be torn by worries, you are slowly pulling loose the cord of life I wove by grace. A soul that loves God cannot forget to love the body He breathed into. I pity you because I see you wandering between two extremes, either abandoning yourself to fatigue or punishing yourself to prove your worth. Both are illusions. You need neither flee your body nor enshrine it as a monument to strength. See your body as a temple where every breath, every movement is sacred rite. When you eat with gratitude, when you sleep in trust, when you breathe in peace, these are quiet prayers I always hear. I do not ask you to build grand works. I ask you to maintain your small temple with reverence. I know you have grown used to the world's tempo, fast, loud, and often hollow. The world tells you, push a little more, while I say, rest a while, child. Which voice will you heed? Some things you treat as duty are chains. Some things you deem weakness are faith in disguise. When you dare to stop and breathe, to notice the rhythm in your chest, you are acting in faith for you. Trust that it is not you who accomplishes all things, but I who work through you. That is obedience, not laziness. Then you will see, as the body finds rest, the soul grows clear. As the breath slows, my voice sounds more distinctly. A healthy body is not only for long life, but for right living. You will no longer fear the racing heart, for I will be there in each steady beat, in every deep breath. When you care for yourself, you make room for me to dwell. When you treat your body as a temple, you need not dread its collapse, for that temple stands upon the foundation of love. And perhaps you will learn that the miracle is not in instant healing, but in how you slowly acquire reverence for your own life. Keep your heart quiet there, peace takes root. A heart that guards the body is a heart that understands the soul's worth. And when the body is rightly kept, you will be alert enough to catch the faintest warnings before the fall, the gentle knocks I keep sending with every beat. Often before darkness gathers, I have already knocked many times. Yet in your busyness you do not perceive it. The body's fragile signals, I send them not to frighten you, but to make you stop in time. Child, learn to listen, for I am still speaking only now in the language of heartbeat and breath, and the soft fatigue you so often dismiss. Collapse rarely comes as a surprise. It does not strike like a storm. It tiptoes in on little signs. A restless night, a heavy morning chest, a breath shorter than usual. These are my light taps upon your heart's door. But you plug your ears with busyness and lull yourself with the lie, I'm just tired. You do not see that I am trying to save you from the cave-in of body and soul. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says, Revelation 2:7. You have ears, but is your heart still quiet enough to listen? I do not pour out wrath upon you through calamity. I send you tender warnings. They are the small cries for help from a body you treat as a tool. When you feel restless for no reason, sleepless for many nights, or exhausted, though you have done no heavy labor, this is not random. It is the soul reacting, for you have forgotten the Sabbath breath of my Spirit within. Instead of listening, you drink more coffee, scroll more news pile on more tasks. You run from the truth that your heart is flagging, and the further you run, the farther you stray from me. Understand, this child, collapse is not a moment. It is seeded by countless days of neglect. Each time you fall silent before a small pain, each time you dismiss a short gasping breath, you sign the contract for your own fatigue. I designed the body to sound the alarm when something is wrong, but you treat it as a nuisance. You do not realize that this very sensitivity is a gift to make you stop, adjust, and return. Like a yellow light before the crossroads, I do not want you to rush through. I want you to slow down so you can keep living. Many ask me, why does God let me be sick, let me grow weak? Child, at times I do not cause illness. I simply allow the consequences of indifference to speak. If I smothered every pain for you, you would never learn to listen. Only when the body grows frail do you see how far you have gone. Only when the heart twinges do you realize you have driven the soul beyond its strength. Do not treat pain as an enemy. Receive it as a faithful courier of my message. If you learn to read it, you will see I warn not to threaten, but to draw you back from the brink. How many times have I brushed past you, and you did not notice I sent a day of rain so you might rest, and you grumbled that you could not work. I let your phone lose its signal, so you might look up from the phantom world, and you grew angry. I let your heart grow tired so you would stop, and you reached for stimulants to keep going. You think I am hindering you. In truth, I am saving you. I do not save by spectacle, but by every turn of your head back to me, every deep breath, every quiet prayer. Lord, I have neglected myself too long. I know you fear stopping, for stillness forces you to face the emptiness within. But child, I do not call you back to scold you. I call you back to heal you. When you dare to look straight at your frailty, you step onto the path of humility where I can touch you and make you new. Do not mistake rest for failure. It is a right of obedience. Only when you stop can I do what is mine to do. Begin to hear the small knocks before I must knock harder. When you feel listless, pause and ask, Lord, what is this saying to me? When you are restless, grow quiet, and remember, perhaps you are prompting me to change my pace. When you grow weary of your own body, remember this is not the true voice, but the soul's plea for comfort. Learn to stop, to ask, to listen. This is daily faith. I do not demand perfection. I ask for fidelity in keeping yourself. Tend your body as a holy discipline. Eat real food. Sleep enough. Walk in the sunlight. Drink water as a devout habit. Each small act is a hidden prayer. You think it is ordinary routine. In my eyes, it is reverence. Only when you love life will you be able to love me with a whole heart. And then, as you attend to the little signals, you will find yourself more peaceful, more gentle, more aware of my nearness than ever before. You need not wait for a miracle, for the miracle is that you stop in time before the break. As you learn to listen, you will move more slowly, and in that slowing you will hear the echo of a deeper invitation, the summons of peace itself, the place where true healing begins. There are pains that do not live in the flesh, but hide in the heart. Some have strong hearts, yet sick souls. And I know this is true of you as well, your rhythm thrown off by wounds not yet forgiven. Let me teach you to heal from the inside, where every pain begins and where it will end in peace. There are wounds not on the skin, but beating with every pulse. You think you have forgotten, yet a word or a glance makes the scar burn like new. I see it all the nights you lie awake in silence, your pillow wet with tears you cannot name. Your heart runs a fever, not from illness, but from refusal to let go. Resentment is a hidden fire. You do not see it, yet it dries the soul. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. Colossians 3:1-5. When you let anger set your heart ablaze, peace has no place to dwell. My child, I know the sting of betrayal and the urge to make others pay for what they have done. But my child, every time you pin down one more grievance, you press another thorn into your own heart. Forgiveness does not belittle justice. It hands judgment back to me. You cannot carry my cross, and you do not need to. You only need to set the burden down so your heart can rest. When you no longer insist on playing the role of the one who demands fairness, you will feel lighter because you have let me do that part. Do not forget I once said, learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Mount 1129. At times you think you have forgiven, but you have only gone silent. That silence is not peace, it is suppression. It is like a patient covering the wound, so the blood won't show while the infection spreads within. Forgiveness is not a single act, but a process. Each time the memory returns, you must choose to release it again. Each time your heart aches, you must whisper, Lord, help me not to hate. In this repeated choosing, your soul slowly cools. Forgiveness does not erase the past, but it drains the poison from the memory. I know you fear that if you forgive, others will think you weak. But my child, forgiveness does not make you weaker, it gives you back your freedom. Anger ties you to the one you resent. Forgiveness returns you to me. A heart shut tight by bitterness leaves no room for peace to dwell. When you forgive, you are not doing a favor for anyone else. You are rescuing yourself. Remember, peace cannot live in the heart that clutches ashes, for ashes do not know how to love. They only smolder and then go cold. There are days you cannot pray because the storm inside is too fierce. I know. I am still there waiting quietly for you to grow calm. Peace does not arrive with a shout. It comes when you stop thrashing. Let me touch those dark corners. When you weep, I hear. When you fall silent, I still hear. And one day you will notice that the pain which once made you tremble has become only a gentle pulse, because the fire has burned out and I have used your very tears to quench it. Notice this: each time you forgive, your heart beats slower and your breathing deepens. Forgiveness is not only the work of the soul, it is the body's way of returning to well-being. When you clutch anger, your blood heats, your heart races, your breath turns shallow. This is no coincidence, but the soul's reaction. I fashioned body and soul as two branches of the same river. If one side is muddy, the other cannot run clear. Forgiveness, therefore, is a twin healing, one for the body and one for the soul. And you will see that as your heart grows lighter, the world around you softens too. Those who once hurt you will lose their power to wound. I do not promise you will forget everything, but I promise you will not hurt because of it anymore. Forgiveness is how you reclaim the peace that hatred stole. When peace returns, your heart is fevered no longer. It beats steady and light like the quiet song of a soul made whole. There will come a day when you no longer beg me to blot out the memory, but simply say, "Lord, thank you that I have passed through it." On that day I will know you are truly healed. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is refusing to let pain set the rhythm of your life. When you accept the past as part of redemption, I will turn even the scars in your heart into witnesses of mercy. My child, when peace comes back, you will realize it is the medicine that needs no prescription. No remedy warms your heart like forgiveness. No sleep is deeper than the sleep of one who has let go. Peace is the soil in which life takes root. As the earth needs moisture to flower, so your heart needs the grace of forgiveness to bloom with joy again. Let my peace soak into every breath and every beat, and you will understand that every fever has a purpose. It drives you to the cool spring of love. And when your soul is soothed and your heart settles into a peaceful rhythm, I want you to learn one more thing. Peace is not a mere state. It is a habit, a daily liturgy of living. For peace does not come only in prayer. It is nourished by small deeds, wholesome routines, and the simple miracles you often overlook. Sometimes what you need is not a dazzling wonder, but a sip of water at the right moment, a deep breath in the middle of the day, a full night's rest. It is not that I refuse to work miracles. It is that you are too busy to notice them. And I am waiting day after day for you to relearn a slower way to live, so that every small thing you do becomes a prayer. My child, I know you long for the extraordinary. You want to see miracles, to hear my voice clearly, to touch something immense just once, so you can believe I am still there. But miracles have never been noisy. They do not blaze in the storm. They bloom quietly in the smallness of each day. A miracle is that you could breathe this morning, that your heart still had strength to beat, that your trembling hands still clasped themselves in prayer. Whoever is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much. Luke 1:6-10. You want to find me in the cosmos, but I choose to dwell in the cup of water you drink, in the sunlight, brushing your cheek in the even breath of a peaceful morning. Do not think I demand great feats from you. I do not need you to scale mountains or search for me at the far edge of the sky. I ask you to begin with small things done with gratitude. When you drink water mindfully, you wash your soul of the thirst of indifference. When you walk in the sun and let its warmth rest on your face, you allow grace to pass through your skin. When you draw a long, deep breath and recognize that I still grant you breath, you offer a prayer without words. The world teaches you to be busy to feel worthy, but I teach you to live slowly so you can know you are loved. I love you because you often confuse rest with laziness. You are haunted by the urgent voices of life. Do more, strive harder, be better. But my child, rest is not weakness, it is the honor due the body I created. When you stop, I can begin my work. Do not think that pausing means failure. Sometimes, precisely when you do nothing, I am healing you in the hush. Remember, I did not speak to the prophet Elijah in wind or quake, but in a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 1:9-12. Peace does not come in noise. It comes in the moments you grow still enough to hear your own heartbeat. Perhaps you think prayer must be on your knees and full of many words. I delight more in the prayers woven through your ordinary life. When you fold your blanket neatly, I see a heart that loves order. When you eat with gratitude, I hear thanksgiving. When you forgive another, I feel the reconciliation in your chest. Every small act, if done in love, carries the fragrance of heaven. My child, let these small habits become your daily rites, nothing elaborate, only faithful. For by faithfulness in little things, you build a faith firm as rock. Have you noticed that the greatest miracle is simply being alive to be changed? Some wait for wonders to be healed. You only know that another chance to begin again is already grace. I give you each day not for racing but for practicing gratitude. Each morning, if all you can say is, Lord, thank you, that today I can still breathe in that moment you have stepped into a miracle. Do not wait for your life to quake to see my presence. I am in every breath, every meal, every rain, every small clasp of a hand. Miracles do not always alter the world outside. They illumine the world within. I know there are times when these little things feel meaningless, reading a short passage of scripture, lighting a candle, tidying a corner of your home. But my child, those simple acts are gathering peace for you day by day. When you learn to live slowly, you will discover that peace is not something to be sought, it is something to be kept. And you keep it with gentle discipline. Drink enough water, sleep enough hours. Do not drown your mind in noise. You think these are merely earthly tasks, but to me they are acts of reverence. I have already made holy the small things in your life by my presence. My child, this world persuades you that only the grand matters. But think of this: a pinch of salt seasons a whole meal. A faint beam can drive darkness from a room. So it is with simple miracles. They soothe the heart, nourish the soul, and let you see life in a new light. As you practice gratitude for the least of things, you will find you no longer crave the spectacular, because you yourself have become part of the miracle. Remember this, my own, the miracle is not stored in extraordinary events, but in the way you live each ordinary day to the full. When you pour water with both hands, when you listen to another with patience, when you smile, though your heart is weathered by storms, heaven leans close to earth. I am not far from you. I hide in the ordinary to see if you are still enough to notice. If you live this way, every day will be a liturgy, and your heart will not fear tomorrow. And then when the small rites have become your habit, you will see a body grown strong, a soul grown light, a peace that spreads. But do not stop there, my child. The health and peace you receive are not only for you to enjoy, but to give away. A healed heart must learn to beat for others. For to live well is not merely to survive, but to love and to serve. A heart with life still in it is a heart still able to love. When your body is tended and your soul is nourished, I will entrust you with a greater calling to become light, to become a wellspring of comfort for other weary hearts. For love does not spring from exhaustion, it rises from souls that have rested in my peace. My child, I gave you a heart not merely to live, but to love. A heart that is spent, though it still beats, cannot hold anyone close. When the body is worn out, the spirit easily closes. You think you are serving me, but in truth you are striving by your own strength. I do not need laborers who grind themselves down for the kingdom. I need the healthy, through whom love can be spread. Love cannot be nourished by exhaustion, and light cannot burn in a heart already dim. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Deuteronomy 6:5. Do you hear? Your strength too is an offering I ask of you. Do not think love is only a feeling. Love is a sacred work. It asks for strength, for breath, for warm blood moving within you. Whenever you are tired and quick to anger or irritation, this is not just the fatigue of flesh. It is a sign that the wellspring of love in you is running dry. I have seen you bend to help another while your eyes are vacant and your smile is strained. You love out of duty now, not out of delight. I do not reproach you. I only remind you to love in truth. You must be truly alive. And to be truly alive is to live in balance between work and rest, between giving and receiving, between caring for others and caring for yourself. My child, I did not make you like a candle to burn yourself out and vanish. I made you like a lamp that is refilled with oil each day. Every sleep, every meal, every hour of prayer, these are the moments I pour oil, so your lamp will not go out. But you have forgotten. You keep burning without pause until the smoke stings your eyes and your light grows faint. Learn to stop and be refilled, for no one can give light when they themselves have gone dark. Service is not to burn yourself to ash, but to keep yourself warm enough to warm others. When you are well, you can smile sincerely at those who suffer. When you are at peace, you can enter chaos without being swept away. When you keep your heart bright, your words become consolation, and your gaze becomes the place where others find me. You think health is only of the body, but in truth it is an extension of your calling. I need you strong so you can love much. I need you steady so you can lift another. Do not be ashamed to care for yourself. This is not selfishness. It is preparation for mission. Only a heart still aflame has strength enough to warm the world. There are souls who long to give me everything, yet forget that I do not desire offerings of weariness. It does not please me to see you collapse from exhaustion. It pleases me to see you live fully in grace. You serve me most beautifully when you do so with joy, not with tears wrung dry. Love like a river, unboastful, unpretentious, yet steady and ever new. When you learn to love with wholeness, that love becomes a living witness, and I will use you as an instrument to touch many hearts. Do not forget, to love is not only to act, but to be present. Often I do not need your words. I need you to sit beside the suffering with a warm heart. That is love. When you quietly cook a meal for the elderly, when you hold the weak by the hand without saying a word, that is service. Such things are not recorded in books, but they are engraved upon my heart, for I do not see as the world sees. I behold in your heart what no worldly eye can see. The day will come when you understand that love and service cannot be separated from holiness. When the body is kept sound, the mind serene, and the soul filled with grace, you will find yourself moving in harmony with me, as naturally as breath. I am in each of your steps, in every heartbeat, in every breath of service. Then you will serve not out of obligation, but because love within you compels you. That is when you truly become part of the love I give to humankind. My beloved child, I know this world demands much. So many voices calling, so many wounds that tire you. Yet I also know that deep within you still desire a life of meaning, to offer the very best you have. So keep your heart strong enough to keep beating for that purpose. Every glass of water you drink, every minute of rest, every word of prayer, each is a way you prepare for the mission of love. Do not make light of them. When you tend the flame within you, keep the world from falling into darkness. I need you, not as a hero, but as one who loves quietly. Guard your heart so it stays on fire, the fire of life, of gratitude, of humble yet enduring love. When you live this way, you render me the fullest service. And when you grow weary, simply look up, and you will find me there, not far away, not high above, but within the steady peace of your own heartbeat. My child, do not let your heart become orphaned. Tend it as a temple. Listen when it tires. Soothe it with forgiveness. Nourish it with small daily rites. Keep it radiant so it can love and serve. For each beat of your heart is a silent prayer lifted to me. And as long as your heart still knows how to love, I am living in you. My beloved child, I watch in quiet over each step you take, over each heavy breath you draw in a life of unending demands. I see in your eyes and in your posture a weariness beyond words, not only in hands and feet, but in the depths of your soul. You have turned yourself into a wheel that never stops, caught in the noise of time, of duty, of the urge to do more, to be better, to never stop. But my child, when you let your mind be bound by these things, you begin to lose yourself. This body and this soul were never meant to be wrung dry by endless turning. I formed you in love with the first breath I placed within you, so you might live and feel and love and pause to listen for the heartbeat of life within yourself. Have you ever asked why I gave you breath? Not so you could race time, but so that each inhale and exhale might be a silent prayer. When you stop amid the bustle, when you let the wind brush your skin, when sunlight rests gently on your cheek, these are the moments I touch you, yet you have forgotten me in such small things. You look only ahead at tasks, to finish goals, to reach praise to earn. You forget that stillness is also a form of strength, that at times doing nothing is how the soul is reborn. In every beat of your heart I hear the body's muted cry. It begs for rest, for tenderness, for care, yet you cover your ears and pretend not to hear. You forget the body is not just a tool, but the sacred garment that shelters the soul. When you let yourself be depleted, when you scorn rest, when you neglect food and sleep for work or acclaim, you unravel the threads that bind body and soul. You think yourself strong, but in truth you drift away from your own sacred core. Do you not know that each time you drive yourself to exhaustion, my temple trembles? Your body is the dwelling where I have chosen to abide, the place from which I shine and love. But when you fail to tend it, when you ignore the signals of fatigue, you profane the place where I reside. That temple must be kept with gratitude, with gentleness toward yourself, with the reverence due a gift, not the hardness reserved for a mere instrument. For when that temple falls, the soul has no haven in which to rest. I do not ask you to live a perfect life. I ask you to live a true one. Live with the awareness that you are loved, received, and forgiven. You need not prove your worth by success or status. Your worth was set the instant I breathed life into you. You are enough, always enough, even on your weakest days. All I ask is that you learn to look within, to love each scar, each crease, each breath, for all are witnesses to the life I have given. There are moments you imagine I am distant, silent, that you carry everything alone. But my child, I have never left you. I am in every drop of sweat on your brow as you try, in each racing beat when you fear, in every tear when you are hurt. I am there waiting for you to see that you do not have to bear the world by yourself. Let me shoulder it with you. Let me walk beside you through long nights and weary days. Know this, to love yourself rightly is not selfish, it is sacred. When you love yourself as you ought, you honor me, the one who made you. When you care for your body, you are cleansing the temple, so my light may shine. When you rest, you are making space for my voice. When you eat, drink, breathe, laugh, and love, with full awareness, you are singing the hymn of gratitude I long to hear. Do not fear stopping. Do not think rest is waste. The world will not collapse if you set your work aside to take a deep breath, to gaze at the sky, to smile at yourself. I did not fashion you merely to exist, but to truly live in peace, in gratitude, in the awareness that each day is a miracle. I know you fear being left behind, not being good enough, not being seen. But my child, when you chase the lights of the world, you only stray farther from the light within. That light needs no adornment. It asks only that you turn back, be still, and look deeply into yourself. Let your heart grow quiet like a clear pool, and you will see me reflected there. I do not want you to exist like a machine programmed to complete tasks. I want you to live as a being who can be moved, who can love, who can share. I want you to taste the savor of a meal, feel the warmth of a hand, keep time with the pulse of life. I want you to greet each morning with thanks, and to forgive yourself whenever you stumble. You need not be perfect. You need only be true, true to your soul, true to me. Care for your temple as you would guard your greatest treasure. Listen to your body when it says you need rest, sleep, food, breath. Regard it not with judgment, but with reverence. I chose that body to house your soul so that I might love you through each cell, each breath, each beat. My beloved child, each time you return to yourself, you return to me. Each time you pause to smile, to let your shoulders loosen. I dwell more fully in you. Do not turn life into a race, nor yourself into a tool. You are a child of light, born to shine, not to burn out. Let me teach you how to move more slowly, how to love more deeply, how to listen more fully. Let me show you that every step, however small, has meaning, that every moment of silence carries my message. When you learn to listen to the body, you will hear the voice of the soul. When you learn to honor yourself, you will feel the boundless love I have always kept for you. My child, I am here, present in every breath, in every tear, in every moment you release and let go. Let your body find rest in peace. Let your soul be soothed in love. For only when you truly learn to love yourself can you love others with the purest love. The love that begins in me flows through you and returns to all beings. Then the temple within you will blaze again, no longer a rigid kiln, but a place flooded with light, a dwelling of peace, where you and I meet not in the clamor of the world, but in the stillness of the heart. Remember this, I do not need you to be perfect. I need you to be true, to live fully, and to know you are loved always. My child, you may still believe that strength is never shedding a single tear, is compressing every pain deep within your chest while you keep walking with a smile. But I want you to understand that true strength is not found in gritting your teeth and enduring. It is in your courage to face your own tenderness. At times, stopping is not defeat. It is how you keep your soul from fracturing amid tangled longings and pressures. I did not create you to be a machine of endurance, but to love yourself with the gentleness I placed in your heart. Weariness, beloved, is not the enemy. It is my reminder that you have strayed too far from the borders of your own peace. When your body trembles from exhaustion, when your eyes grow heavy, yet you force them open to continue, that is when I am touching you softly, asking you to stop, to return and listen to a deep breath, to feel the weak yet honest beating to your heart. I remain there in those beats, in each subdued sob you try to hold back. You do not know this. Each time you hurt and still smile, each time you tremble and still pretend to be strong, I ache with you. I see your heart like a shattered mirror, fragments glittering with proud light. Yet behind them lie countless wounds no hand can reach. Do you think I want to watch you collapse? No. I want to see you learn to be tender with yourself, as you once were with the world. For only when you learn to embrace yourself will you truly understand the love I have given. Do not let this world make you believe that only the unbreakable deserve to live fully. No one is born to brace forever against every storm. Even the sea must grow still when the waves are tired. So you too have the right to be vulnerable, to pause, to breathe. I have witnessed many souls like yours pressing forward on cracked feet, smiling though the heart lies in pieces. They think they are living, but in truth they are dwindling. Strength is not a shield that hides your pain. It is the light that lets you look into your wounds and heal them with compassion. Each time you sink to your knees, I do not see failure, but an opportunity for you to learn to listen. I knock with weariness, not to punish, but to rouse you from the trance of chasing what was never yours. You have forgotten the voice of your heart, forgotten that deep within your soul longs for stillness, not glory. When you rush too fast, my call fades. Amid the noise of calculation and pressure, you no longer hear me. And then you imagine I have left. But you are mistaken, I have never gone. I only wait for you to grow quiet, to be silent long enough to discover that every ache is an invitation home. I do not want you proud in your undoing, for such pride is a flame that burns you from within. The world praises those who never stop advancing, but few know that stopping can be the braver act. Only the truly strong can admit, I am tired. I need to rest. Beloved child, true strength is not in overcoming everything, but in knowing you need love and shelter. I made you not to be a hero, but to learn how to be human, to feel, to fear, to hurt, to weep, and then to rise with a heart gentler, brighter, deeper. If you keep forcing yourself to be unyielding, you will lose the softest part of your soul, the part that lets you sense me, that lets you feel love. Do you see? The flowers do not bloom all year. They too need time to close to rest, in quiet, to drink in light and morning dew. Humans are the same. No one can blaze forever without knowing when to withdraw. Do not fear being left behind if you pause. This world runs no race with anyone. Only you are forcing yourself to chase a mirage. What you call strength is sometimes just flight from the fear of being hurt. But the more you run, the more that fear follows, until you can no longer recognize yourself. Stop, face it. Say to your own heart, I am enough. When your body is spent, when your mind is lost, when your heart is cold as ash, then I am standing right before you, yet you are too unsettled to notice. In that heap of ash you cannot hear. My call cannot feel the warmth I have patiently kept for you. I do not need you to be a champion. I need you to be yourself, whole, honest, fragile, yet full of love. Know this, sometimes I want you to cry aloud so tears can wash away the hurts you have tried to bury. I want you to allow yourself to be weak, for within that weakness you will find true strength, born of trust, of love, of forgiveness toward yourself. Do not be afraid of fatigue. Tiredness means you have tried. It means you are living truthfully. Only when the soul knows weariness can the heart cherish peace. I knock with that small tiredness, hoping you will pause and listen. Do not rush to smear it over with forced laughter or crowded plans. Give yourself time to sit still, to look within, to see that amid 1,000 storms, you still have a refuge there, where I am, where the deathless love I placed in you from your first cry still abides. When you begin to listen to the body, to feel each breath, each heartbeat, you will sense a wondrous stillness unfolding within. In that stillness you will hear me whisper, and you will hear the gentle nature of life you have long neglected. All pains pass, but what remains is understanding that you need not be strong by the world's definition, only true to yourself. Remember, I love you, not because you are capable or steadfast, but because you are a soul that may stumble yet knows how to stand, that may be fragile yet dares to love, that may be broken yet still chooses life. Allow yourself to live fully, not by forcing, but by resting in ease with every breath. When you learn to stop, when you listen to your heart's voice, when you smile at your own imperfections, that is when you are truly strong, and you will find the world gentler than ever. No more futile races, no more fears that leave you adrift. There is only you, peaceful light overflowing with love. You will understand that I never wished you proud in your ruin. I have only wanted you to live serenely, to know when to move and when to be still, to love yourself as I have always loved you, wholly, unconditionally, forever. I cherish you not only because you are lost between the two shores of extremes, but because I see within you a hidden longing, the longing to dwell in safety, to be accepted, to live fully in your human lot without fleeing or proving yourself. You do not know that only when you stop searching are you truly found. Only when you cease striving to be someone else are you truly yourself. Your exhaustion does not arise from what you do, but from what you hide and deny. You have forgotten that the body is not a burden, but the garment of the soul, a sacred shelter, given that you might taste life, its sweetness and its bitterness. This body, with every breath and every beat, labors day and night for you without demanding reward. If you will only stop, listen, and let gratitude spread like light through layers of delusion, you will recognize the miraculous presence in every cell. When you eat in mindfulness, each mouthful nourishes not only the body but the soul. Flavor then becomes a blessing of earth and sky, the whisper of life itself. Live slowly. Savor me completely. When you sleep in trust, you entrust yourself to the arms of the universe, allowing the body to rest, allowing the mind to melt into mercy. Such sleep is not mere rest, but a rite of resurrection where body and mind are reborn in silence. And when you breathe in peace, you are speaking with me in a wordless tongue. Each in-breath is gratitude, each out-breath is release. I hear each rhythm as a scripture, without letters, for within it, your whole devotion is contained. You think that to be loved, to be worthy, you must surpass yourself, do something great, become extraordinary. But I tell you, the most extraordinary thing is to live the ordinary wholly. A tranquil heart, eyes that behold beauty in the small, a hand that touches the world with gentleness. This is the miracle. The world praises those who scale the heights, yet few understand that the one who can smile at the edge of the abyss has truly awakened. You need not make yourself a hero for me to love you, for my love seeks no reason. It exists like sunlight shining on the bright and the shadowed alike, without favoritism, without design. I see in you both light and darkness, both strength and softness, and I love it all. Do not think you must be flawless to deserve love. On the contrary, it is through your cracks that the light can enter. The more you hide your pain, the more it gnaws unseen. But when you dare to face it, to hold it, to confess, I am hurting, in that very moment healing begins. Regard each wound as a testament to growth, proof that you have dared to live, to love, to lose. Your body, the temple of which I speak, needs no gilded halo, only the kindness of care. Let your feet rest when they ache. Let your heart be still when storms have raged too long. Learn to heed the body's quiet calls. When it hungers, feed it. When it hurts, heal it. When it is weary, allow it to stop. Do not mistake this for weakness, for listening in this way is wisdom. One who listens to the body is listening to the soul. I do not want you to turn the body into an instrument of mortification or indulgence. You need neither self-denial to prove your purity, nor self-indulgence to escape your loneliness. Live with your body as with a companion, walking together through rise and fall, laughing in joy and finding quiet in sorrow. When you learn to love your body, you will learn to love this world, for body and world are not separate. The touch of wind, the warmth of sun, the sound of rain, the scent of earth after storm, these are your body, extended, the outstretched life you carry within. Do not seek me in far-off places in the heavens or within secret disciplines. I am here within every beat of your heart, in the blood that courses through your veins, in the breath you forget you are breathing. When you learn to live in gratitude, that is the moment you are already touching me. When you bow before life, that is when you are lifting your face into the light. I do not need you to raise statues or build splendid shrines, for every structure fades with time. There is only one temple that does not perish, the heart that knows how to love without condition. Practice living simply, for simplicity is the wellspring of happiness. When the mind is no longer tangled by craving, you will find even a single breath is abundant. A humble meal, a sincere smile, a warm embrace. These are the everyday miracles. You will discover that I do not hide in grand designs, but in the instant you pause to admire a wayside flower, in the willingness to listen to your own depths, in the quiet you can feel between two breaths. There will be times you stumble, times you feel weak and helpless. Do not be afraid. Even in the moment you collapse, I am holding you with an unseen hand. You are not alone, never have been. Each time you weep, I remain near, not to wipe your tears away, but so you may learn to dry them yourself with compassion. Tears are not the sign of failure. They are proof your heart is still alive, still feeling, still capable of love. I long for you to understand that peace is not born of banishing suffering, but of welcoming both grief and joy as two faces of one coin. Without the night, you would never know how precious dawn can be. Without the storm, you would not discover how strong the tree of life within you really is. So when hardship comes, do not ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What is this asking me to learn?" For every trial is a lesson sent by me, to you alone, not to punish, but to awaken. And when you learn to cherish your very body, your very presence, you will find the world around you grows more alive. A tree is no longer just a tree, but the breathing of the earth. Rain is not merely water, but the sky's own song. The people around you are not passers-by, but mirrors, reflecting your own true nature. Then you will stop searching for me, for you will have become me in every gesture, every thought, every heartbeat, brimming with love. I love you not because you are flawless, but because you dare to live, to feel, to walk through pain toward the light. Keep going, yet do not forget to pause and listen to your heart. Do everything as if it were a prayer, even washing dishes, sweeping a floor, tending a small plant. Let each small act be steeped in the sacred spirit. That is how you turn life into liturgy. When you live this way, every place you pass becomes a sanctuary, every task becomes a rite, and every breath you draw becomes a hymn to life. And finally, remember, you need not become anyone at all, for you are already complete in your essence. Learn to rest within yourself as a river receives every wave, as the moon admits its own shadowed face. Then you will see me in all things and all things in me. My love for you needs no condition, no proof, no worthiness. It simply is as breath, as light, as the life that flows through you moment by moment, and that is what is eternal. Beloved, the collapse of a human life rarely arrives with the thunder of tempests. It does not strike like a sudden tragedy that leaves you no time to brace. It seeps in little by little like mist, veiling the soul like a hairline crack in the wall of the heart that you scarcely notice. Each small weariness, each inexplicable hush, each morning you wake to a heart heavy as lead. These are not just a bad day, but signals I send, whispers from the deep, reminding you that something within is withering, calling for help. Yet sadly, instead of listening, you turn away. You seek noise to fill the hollow, keep yourself busy to the point of forgetting, and lull yourself with harmless-sounding refrains. I'm only tired. A good sleep will fix it. You think yourself strong, but in that moment you are most fragile for you. Dare not face yourself. You lack the courage to hear. Me tapping gently at the door of your heart, asking you to open. My child, collapse always begins with tiny fissures, with the moment your heart stops trembling at what is good, when you start accepting what is wrong as ordinary. When you cease praying, cease speaking with me. When faith grows burdensome, when you choose silence over thanksgiving, indifference over compassion, then the darkness has already crossed the threshold. It does not need the door flung wide. A single careless crack will do. I do not blame you. I understand how easily people are dazzled by the glitter beyond fame, money, romance, preoccupations that seem harmless. But remember, all these fade. Only the soul must be kept. When the soul is exhausted, nothing else can mend what's broken. I am still waiting for you, patient as a father on the porch, eyes on the long road home. Sometimes I send a dream that draws tears from your sleep. Sometimes a song that finds you in the street. Sometimes the gaze of a stranger that makes you stop. All are signs, tender messages to remind you. I am here, still calling your name, still longing to gather you in my arms. But you hurry past ears, covered eyes averted, closing your heart with endless reasons. Busy, tired, not ready. You do not know that each time you pass me by, the distance between us grows. You say you can no longer hear my voice, yet it has never fallen silent. Your heart has simply grown too noisy to listen. O child whom I love, do you remember when you were small, how even the smallest scratch sent you running to me, to the shelter of warm arms? Now with your heart bleeding, you hide it away, patch it with a strained smile, and murmur to yourself, "We'll be fine." But no, it will not if I am no longer in your life. True peace does not come because everything goes your way, but because you know I am with you even when the wind rises. I do not want to see you forcing yourself to be strong, wearing a mask of courage while your soul trembles within. Let me enter. Let me dry the tears you hide. Let me touch the wounds you dare not face. Do not wait until your body is spent to realize your soul has run dry. Do not wait until all is lost to discover the most precious things were not what you amassed, but what you forgot. Love, silence, faith. You think collapse is when you have nothing left. In truth, it begins the moment you stop believing you need to be saved. When you cease to listen, cease to pray, when you are certain you can carry everything alone, that is when the quiet ruin takes root. I knock, but you do not open. I call, but you do not answer. You think I am far away. In truth, it is you who have hurried too fast, too far from where I stand waiting. Whoever has ears, let them hear what the Spirit says. That line is not for reading only, but for living. Listen not with ears alone, but with the whole heart. Listening is not merely sensing. It is bowing low, letting go of the proud voice of the self. The world will teach you to contend for the highest place. I teach you to bend down and find peace. People say, be strong. I say, be gentle with yourself. Only in that gentleness will you hear my resonance. My voice does not roar or coerce, it only whispers, and only those who know how to be still will recognize it. Try stopping, will you? Sit, breathe deep, look into yourself, not through the eyes of others, but by my light. You will see in the innermost chamber of your soul a child still trembling, still longing to be held, to be understood, to be loved. Let me touch that child. Let my love soothe the wounds you have inflicted on yourself with indifference and pride. You do not have to be strong at every moment. You do not have to pretend you are fine. I ask only for your honesty with me and with yourself. Perhaps you think I am punishing you by leading you through these shadowed days. No, this is how I save you. If I let you live forever inside the illusion of safety, you would never find your way home. Pain is a bell of awakening, the gentle touch of my hand, so you may see you are drifting off course. Each weariness, each sleepless night is not punishment, but invitation. I am calling you back to true life, back to the light you have forgotten. Believe this, no matter how many times you have fallen, how often you have turned away, I am still here, loving you with a love without condition. I do not ask you to be perfect only to return. Even amid the ruins I can see in you a small flame unextinguished. With a single breath, a whispered prayer, I will kindle it into light. You are not abandoned, even when you feel faithless. I walk beside you even through the days when you can trust nothing at all. Beloved, do not let the soul's collapse become familiar. Be awake. Turn back before it is too late. However many doors have closed, I can open them if you will only lay your hand upon the latch. I do not ask you to run to me, only to turn. For when you turn, you will see I never left, and then you will understand that collapse is not the period at the end of your story, but the threshold of renewal. Each time you fall is a chance for me to lift you up, for you to learn to walk with steps illumined by faith. I want you to know that your very weakness is the place where my power is revealed. Do not be ashamed when your strength is gone, for it is precisely then that I can enter and complete what you cannot. My child, listen once more deeply, slowly, to the sound of my call. Do not let the rush of life devour your soul. Let your heart return to the cadence of love. Let each breath become a prayer. Open your heart, and you will see that peace does not come from avoiding suffering, but from knowing I am present in every sorrow. For my love never gives up, not even on a soul that seems to have collapsed beyond repair. And when you truly hear my voice, you will realize that collapse is no longer frightening. Because in my embrace, every ruin can flower into new life. Every tear can turn into a radiant dawn. You need only one thing to listen with your whole heart. My child, engrave this upon your heart. Collapse is not a single thunderous burst in one dramatic instant, but a long chain of days in which you quietly wear yourself down. It does not arrive on a violent gale, but through the 1,000 small breezes you never bothered to notice. Each morning you wake and repeat the habit of forgetting yourself. Each time you swallow your weariness without daring to exhale, you lay another brick upon the wall of your exhaustion. This body, this soul, I fashioned them so you could feel, so you could know when to stop, when to rest, when to grow still. Yet you treat tiredness as an enemy, weakness as a shame. You forget that only those who still grow tired are truly alive. When the body sends its signals through pain, through shallow breath, through a pounding heart, it is pleading for your return. That is not betrayal, it is a gentle supplication. Please listen to me. But you, swept up in the haste of living, have fallen silent before that cry, choosing to press on, to grit your teeth, to outrun every warning light, as though endurance were the proof of a person's worth. You do not know that each time you brace yourself, I see your shoulders tremble with fatigue, your eyes shining with unshed tears in the dark. I do not blame you, I only ache for you. You think that holding your tongue before pain is strength, but in truth it is the moment you sever yourself from the most tender part of your humanity. You are losing the art of slow living, the art of stopping in the middle of a race that leads nowhere. I sowed in you the gift of feeling, so that when you touch joy it may truly be joy, and when you face pain it may become a lesson. Yet you fear emotion, fear your own fragility, fear even the softness of your heart. You do not see that this very fear keeps you from becoming fully human. A pain, if listened to, can become a guide. A tear, if allowed to fall, can become a light upon the path. But you want everything to be strong, complete, without a crack. You do not know that it is through those very cracks that the light comes in. Life does not require you to be a stone unmoved by every storm. I did not make you to be a statue that never tires, but a soul that can be moved, that knows when to pause, that trembles and yet still moves forward. Like an amber light at a crossroads, it does not hurry you, it does not forbid you. It simply whispers, slow down lest you lose yourself. Every signal from the body, every strange breath, every restless night is that amber light, and still you choose to accelerate, to pretend you do not see. You think you are advancing, but in truth you are drifting farther from yourself. Know this: stopping is not weakness, resting is not laziness, caring for yourself is not selfishness. It is how you safeguard the most precious gift I gave you, this very life. How many times has your heart raced while you smiled it away? How many times have you heard your body's complaint and soothed it with the promise, tomorrow I'll rest? But tomorrow is always swept away by duty, by the fear of falling behind. You keep running, believing that if you stop, the world will leave you. My child, the world waits for no one. Only you must learn to wait for yourself. When you pause, the world does not cease its turning. You simply reclaim your own rhythm within it. Allow yourself to breathe, to be soft, to be silent. In that silence I will speak to you and whisper the things you have long forgotten, that you are worthy of love, worthy of rest, worthy of slowing down to feel the breath of your own existence. You once believed that effort alone would make all things right, but sometimes effort cannot rescue a soul already drained. You may conquer the world, yet if you lose the capacity to listen to yourself, you have nothing left. True strength does not lie in how long you can push through, but in knowing when to stop. I did not place a machine within you, but a heart. That heart cannot endure being forced to its limits. It needs to rest, to be loved, to be heard. If you persist in your silence, in pretending nothing is wrong, collapse will not strike at once. It will seep in quietly into your cells, your dreams, those mornings when opening your eyes feels hard. That is my call to you, though you have named it fatigue. My child, learn to slow down, not to flee life, but to live more deeply. Life is not a race. It is a journey of sensing and savoring. If you hurry forward and forget to look, then, at the end, you will find your heart emptied out. Stillness is not frightening. It is where you will find the answer. Learn to pause in the middle of a busy day, to hear your heartbeat, to look at the sky, to realize you are still alive. Be grateful for the signs of weariness, for they remind you that you have limits, and within those limits lies the truth of being human. One who never tires, never aches, never stops. That is not you, but only your shadow. Do not treat the body as a mere instrument for getting things done. It is the most faithful companion you have. When you rejoice, it laughs with you. When you hurt, it suffers on your behalf. When you overreach, it does not betray you. It signals you with pain like a child crying to be soothed. Yet you scold it, force it to be quiet, demand its obedience. You do not understand that the more you silence it, the deeper and quieter its cry becomes, hardening into illness. The body does not speak in words, it speaks in sensation. But you, absorbed in the world's clamor, have forgotten that language. I long for you to learn again to listen with your whole heart. When the body tires, let it rest. When your spirit sinks, do not coerce it into bravery. When tears want to fall, let them fall. No tear is wasted. Each one proves you can still feel. I do not need you to be flawless. I need you to be honest with yourself. Only when you dare to name your pain does true healing begin. Know this, in each of us there are two parts, one that longs to press on and one that longs to stop and breathe. The world exalts, the first calling it success, ambition, victory. But I cherish the second more, the part that can sit still, look back, and hear the whisper of the soul. It is this part that keeps you from being lost in the noise of life. When you welcome both, when you can both fly and also know how to land, then you have truly come of age. Remember, you were not born merely to exist. You were born to feel, to love, to taste each beat of life. And to do that, you must learn to honor yourself. Do not wait until your body collapses to prize the gift of breath. Do not wait until your soul is empty to search for peace. Every minute you spend listening to yourself is a minute you are drawing nearer to me. The amber light at the crossroads has always been there, never extinguished, waiting only for you to lift your eyes. It does not resent the many times you have passed it by. It merely hopes that one day you will stop, inhale deeply, and smile at yourself. Then you will understand collapse has never been the end, but an invitation to relearn how to live, how to love, how to return. And I, as from the beginning, am still there in every one of your breaths, gently saying, "Slow down, my child, so you may truly live." How many times have I brushed against your life with signs so light, so near, and yet you did not notice? I do not arrive in sky-rending thunder, nor blaze forth in dazzling glory. I come in a passing rain, in a quiet afternoon, in that moment when your heart sinks and you do not know why. I send you a rainy day, not to keep you from your work, but to give you a reason to rest, so your heart will stop racing the world. Yet you furrow your brow, lament the tasks undone, the meeting delayed, the hours you deem unproductive. You do not see that I only want you to pause and hear the rain, to hear yourself. In the sound of falling rain, I whisper to you that there are things more important than productivity, than achievements, than fleeting praise. There is the peace you have misplaced amid the dizzying gears of life. You do not hear it, for your ears are full of the world's noise. At times, I let your phone lose its signal so you cannot hide behind the glowing screen where you seek delight in each message and icon. I want you to lift your head to look at reality, at the person beside you, at the wide sky waiting for your smile. But you grow irritable, even angry, as though I had taken your dearest treasure. You do not see that in that unconnected moment, I am trying to reconnect the thread between you and your own soul, a thread long neglected amid notifications, messages, calls, and ceaseless busyness. You no longer know how to be silent. You no longer know how to listen. The world within you spins like a machine, never granting your heart permission to tire. I want you to stop to remember that life is not only virtual connection, but breath, heartbeat, the gaze brimming in a beloved's eyes. And when I allow your heart to tire, it is not punishment. I know you always want to rise higher, to run a little faster, to do a little more, to live so hard you can prove your worth. But I see your shoulders growing heavier, your eyes growing dim. I see your heart straining like an engine out of fuel, yet forced to run. So I make it slow down, grow weak, so you may finally see you are not steel, not a deity. You are human, made to be loved, to rest, to breathe. Yet instead of heeding this message, you hurry to find medicine, coffee, stimulants, to keep pushing on. You think yourself strong, but in truth, you are locking yourself inside the chains of a strength that means nothing. I have never wished to burden you. All that I arrange bears the shape of a love so deep you cannot measure it. I do not save with showy miracles or sweep away your clouds with a wave of my hand. I save you in those moments when you can stop amid the clutter, look within, and breathe, Lord, I have forgotten myself. When you say those words, the heavens within you begin to turn. I do not need you to be perfect. I need you to be truthful about your frailty, about your unnamed pain, about the longings you hide beneath the mask of success. It is in the instant you let go that you begin to be reborn. I used to think my love had to be something grand, miracles, sudden blessings, dazzling victories. But child, my love hides in the smallest of things, the bead of dew resting on a leaf after a night of rain, the sunbeam slipping through your window as you wake the smile of a stranger in a crowded street. I send all these to you, hoping you will see that I am ever present, even when you turn away. Each time you sigh, I remain there silent and waiting. Each time you stumble, I am there not to scold, but to lift you up. Yet you keep looking elsewhere, chasing a distant blaze, and forget the little lamp within your heart, the one I lit for you from the very beginning. I love you. I love you in your mistakes. I love the wounds you try to hide. I love the frailty you call failure. For I know that only when you dare to face your own darkness will you truly understand what light is. I let you lose your way not because I wish you pain, but because you need to be lost in order to know the way home. You need tears to learn what comfort is. You need loneliness to recognize the worth of an embrace. You need to lose things to learn that nothing is really your own, for everything is a gift. Every time you collapse, you ask, why does God let me hurt this much? But if you quiet your heart, you will hear my answer. Because I want you to grow. No one matures on days of perfect peace, child. Storms, stumbles, disappointments. That is where I forge new wings for you. Only when you learn to rise will you understand what strength is. I do not wish for you a life of velvet ease, but a life with depth. A life in which you learn to love, to be tender, to forgive, to give thanks. Sometimes I let you lose a person, not because they are bad, but because you must learn to love without clinging. I take away an opportunity not because I am stingy, but because I want you to grasp that true worth lies not in outcomes, but in the journey you have walked. I let you be alone not because I abandon you, but because in solitude you finally have a chance to meet yourself, the one you have neglected for so long in the bustle of survival. You think my silence means I do not hear, but I am still there. I simply want you to learn to listen with your heart, not merely with your ears. I see it all the nights you toss and turn, the tears you hide behind a smile, the prayers you dare not speak for fear of seeming weak. I know, and I have never been far. You do not need to be strong before me, for I love you in your very brokenness. You may weep, you may fall, you may complain, I do not condemn. The only thing I ask is that you do not close your heart, for only when your heart opens can the light enter. If one day you see everything collapse, remember that ruins are the beginning of rebirth. When you stand amid the wreckage of your dreams, I am still there, quietly placing a small seed in your hands, the seed of faith. All you need is to trust, to be patient, and from the darkness new life will push through. No loss is meaningless, no tear is wasted if you learn to see them in the light of love. You still ask where I am when you are in pain. I have never left. I am in your breath, in your heartbeat, in each unhurried step. I am in the smile of the child who passes you, in the song that rises on the street, in the gaze of a stranger. Everything around you bears my trace if only you will open your heart to perceive it. When you know how to pause, to lift your head, to say, Lord, I need you in that very moment, I am already by your side. And when you see this, you will understand trials are not punishments but graces. Each rainstorm is an invitation to come home. Each dropped signal is a chance to reconnect with your heart. Each weariness is a sign that you have gone too far, that you have forgotten the path to peace. Let me lead you to slow down, to walk in stillness, to walk in the gentle light of trust. For I do not promise you will never ache, but I promise you will never be alone. Beloved child, cease resisting. Stop thinking I am making things hard. Let me love you in my way, a way the world may not understand yet your soul will feel. For true love does not always make you happy, but it always makes you awake. And when you awaken, when you can bow your head and say, Lord, I have forgotten myself for too long, that is the moment you are lost no more. You have come home to me, to yourself, to the source of light that has waited for you from the very beginning. Begin to listen to the small resonances within your soul before life forces you to face harsher calls. Every stirring, whether gentle or fierce, carries a message from the Creator, a whispered love woven into each heartbeat of life. When you feel tired, do not reject that feeling as an enemy. Pause and ask softly within, Lord, what is being revealed through this weariness? For sometimes in your weakest moment, you touch the deepest truth that your soul needs rest in the Father's arms. Fatigue is not failure. It is an invitation to return, to learn how to love yourself, to love the path He has marked out for you. When you are restless and cannot find ease, do not try to muffle it with noise or busyness, for the more you run, the clearer the inner voice will sound. Try sitting once in silence, listening to the flutter of your heart, and realize that perhaps God is reminding you, slow down, child. Change your pace, for you have forgotten the true purpose of the journey. Sometimes unease is not a curse, but a wake-up bell calling you to look again at your direction. Often it is only when we stop running that we notice how far we have strayed from the simple thing our soul has always longed for: peace. That stillness is not a void, but fertile ground, where faith is sown and grows. And when you feel disgusted with yourself, halt that thought at once, for it is not truth, but a passing shadow that obscures your soul's light. In those moments, remember that God does not see you through your faults and flaws. He sees a child who is trying, a soul yearning to be loved and to touch boundless kindness. Do not let self-condemnation drag you into the pit of despair. Close your eyes, breathe deep, and hear God's voice resound. You are my beloved creature, not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. When you understand this, you will stop despising yourself and begin to learn forgiveness, to see yourself with the eyes of mercy. Learning to stop, to ask, to listen. These are not only movements of the Spirit, but an art of living amid a hurried world. The life of faith does not dwell only in solemn prayers or beautiful petitions. It lives in every breath, in each moment you pause to converse with the Creator. When you ask, Lord, what does this say to me? You open the door of your heart for Him to enter, for the sacred voice to rise above the world's noise. And when you know how to listen, you will perceive that God has always been there in every breath, every breeze, every tear, and even in your own smile. Faith is not distant or lofty. Faith is believing that even when life grows obscure, an unseen hand is guiding you, believing that after every disappointment a new dawn will come, believing that God's silence is not absence, but a quiet in which your trust can mature. When you learn this, you will find that every event, great or small, can become a place of encounter with God. Faith is not mere confession on the lips. It is the soul made alive the way we receive each moment with gratitude and humility. In a world in flux, we are easily swept up by material aims, by fears, by relentless expectations. Yet within that whirlwind, the gentle knock of God still sounds quiet, patient, tender. Pause and you will hear it. Sometimes it is a drop of water in the night, a breeze skimming your cheek, a chance phrase that softens your heart. Do not wait until God must knock harder through losses, pains, crises before you open up. Learn to listen early so that every breath, every day becomes a secret conversation between you and Him. Then you will no longer feel alone, for you will have found the voice of love amid life's tumult. Your life, if you learn to listen, will become a gentle piece of music, with swells and silences, low notes and bright ones. Every event, every feeling, every turning is a note God writes into the symphony called your life. When you listen, you will understand that the low notes are not to snuff out hope, but to make the bright notes of grace shine. Weariness teaches you how to rest. Sorrow teaches you to fathom joy. Lostness teaches you the worth of being found. Everything gains meaning when we let faith illumine and guide us. Faith does not remove hardship, but it lets you see the light within the night. When you learn to listen, you will notice that even what seems pointless carries the fine design of God. He may not answer directly, but He gives you signs through people, through events, through the very feelings you are living. Each time you pause to ask is a time you open the door of your heart to welcome the Holy Presence. Each time you dare to listen is a time He touches you with boundless grace and mercy. Listening is not only a spiritual practice, it is a deep way of living that makes us more human, gentler, and wiser. In an age when everyone speaks and strives to prove themselves, the one who listens can hear the whisper of truth. When we learn to hear God, we also learn to hear others, the world, and our own selves. And in learning to listen, we learn to love patiently without demand or judgment. For listening itself is a form of love, a wholehearted presence offered to another and to life. So begin listening today. Hear your own footsteps, hear the breath of the wind, hear the hush of the night, hear even the pauses where your heart beats. For sometimes God speaks through the smallest things, and only those who listen can recognize Him. Then each living moment becomes sacred, each ordinary minute becomes a prayer. You will see that faith is not far away at all. It is right here in the way we live, we love, we listen, we pause, and we choose to trust that everything unfolding is held by God's sustaining hand. Learning to stop is learning to slow down so you can feel more deeply. Learning to ask is learning to seek meaning instead of passing judgment. Learning to listen is learning to open your heart to be transformed. These three: stop, ask, and listen, are the three breaths of a soul living by faith. When you practice them each day, life is no longer a string of meaningless, repeating days, but an unending journey of discovery, where every hardship, every smile, every tear becomes a loving message God sends to you alone. And then one day you will no longer need to wait for the knock, because you will know that the Lord is not far away. He lives in every beat of your heart, in every moment you live fully with love and peace. Then your life will become a response full of trust. Lord, I have heard you. At times, pride does not show itself in words or glances. It hides deep within the way we treat our own bodies. We often imagine ourselves strong enough to withstand every storm, thinking that sheer will and faith can carry us through any trial. But the truth is otherwise. The body is not an unfeeling object, nor an immortal machine that runs without care. This body is a sacred gift, the place where God has placed His breath, a vessel that holds the soul, fragile yet immeasurably precious. When we belittle it, we not only demean ourselves, but also offend the love that fashioned us. Some imagine that sacrifice means trading away health, enduring to the very end, forcing themselves to finish the road even when the heart is already cracked. But true sacrifice does not lie in self-mortification. It lies in the humility to recognize our limits. When we drive the body to exhaustion, when we lie awake in anxiety, when we no longer grant ourselves a single moment of stillness amid the whirl of life, we are slowly unweaving the delicate threads God has spun with grace. Every heartbeat, every breath is a quiet reminder that we live by the tenderness of the Creator, yet we so easily forget. We chase after work responsibility and shimmering illusions of success only to lose the deep communion between soul and body. Some pray for hours, yet never listen to their body's lament. Some speak of God's love while punishing themselves by refusing rest, nourishment, or refreshment. That is not faith, but a subtle form of pride, where we presume we can outrun the very laws of the one who made us. God did not create us to be ascetics swollen with pride, but to give thanks by cherishing the small things of daily life. The body is not merely a shell for the soul, it is a bridge by which we sense and express love. Through the hands with which we embrace another, through the gaze by which we offer compassion, through the breath by which we sing praise, the body becomes the living language of faith. If we despise it, we impoverish our capacity to love. When the body is spent, the spirit runs dry, and when the spirit withers, the body cannot thrive. The two are not separate, but entwined like waves with the sea. To love the body is to love the soul. Here, love is not indulgence or the pursuit of pleasure. It is care, guardianship, and reverence, like shielding a small candle from the wind. Many think God cares only for the soul, yet He chose to take on flesh. He accepted our humanity to walk with us in every breath. That alone should teach us that the body too is a dwelling of the holy. When we listen to our bodies, pause. When we are tired, eat with gratitude and sleep in peace. We are practicing the faith in the simplest and deepest way. Whenever we scorn the body, we are saying to God, I do not need you in this material part of me. But He is present everywhere in each cell, each vessel of blood, each tear, and each smile. He is not only above, but within our very breath. Therefore, honoring the body is more than self-care. It is an act of worship. For when we live in balance, when we safeguard our health, when we allow the body to rest in quiet, we let the soul hear God's voice more clearly. At times, the Lord does not speak through thunder or the rush of wind, but in the hush of our heartbeat, in the soft breath of the night. We hear Him only when we stop, when body and spirit come to rest together. Perhaps what He desires most is not long, elaborate prayers, but a peaceful heart and a body that lives in gratitude. He does not need us to strain to prove our love. He simply wants us to live fully in that love, from the breath we draw, to the sleep we take, from the water we drink, to the steps we walk. Some ask, if the body is only passing, why care for it? Precisely because it is passing, we must tend it all the more. Like a blossom that opens in the morning and fades by evening, its beauty lies in the moment it exists, not in permanence. We do not care for the body out of fear of death, but to live each moment of grace to the full. When we eat with gratitude, sleep with trust, and breathe in tranquility, we praise God in the most profound way. And when we learn to love our own bodies, we find it easier to love others. Only those who honor themselves can offer love that is true. One who never rests cannot give anyone peace. One who does not love their own body will struggle to honor the bodies of others. God did not create us to be depleted, but to live abundantly, to live fully in His light. So do not dismiss the signs of weariness. A headache, a sleepless night, a heaviness in the limbs, all are reminders that the body needs to be heard. When we treat our bodies gently, we are practicing gentleness toward the world. When we sit and take a deep breath, we make peace with ourselves. In that reconciliation, we meet God not far off, but near within every cell. Remember, grace arrives not only in radiant miracles, but in the humble work of resting, eating, and smiling at ourselves. Love is not a blaze that burns us up, but a warmth that sustains. Whoever truly loves the Lord will care for their own body, not out of selfishness, but in reverence for the one who breathed life into it. And when we learn to live in harmony with our bodies, to rest in peace, to lay a hand over our hearts, and hear the rhythm as God's whisper, "I am here," then we begin to understand what love truly is. For God's love is not somewhere far away. It is right here in the life that flows through us moment by moment. I know that in the churn of today's world, you live amid 1,000 voices, the call of ambition, the weight of duty, the fear of missing out, and the murmur of emptiness within. Each day passes and you are like a traveler lost in the desert forever, chasing an oasis of success, approval, and peace, only to grow thirstier and more worn. The world pours honeyed yet harsh words in your ear. Keep going faster. To slow is to lose. To stop is to fall behind. You have believed this too long until your feet are calloused and your heart is parched. You fear that if you pause, everything will slip away, others will overtake you, life will leave you behind. But have you ever considered that there are races where the finish line itself is the true lostness, in the search for meaning? What you most need may be the courage to stop and see that meaning has never left you. When I whisper, "Rest a while, my child," it is not an invitation to laziness, but the murmur of love seeking to rescue you from the whirlwind you have made. I do not ask you to achieve something great to prove your worth. I want you to know that even when you do nothing, you are precious and loved. Your true worth is not in how much you accomplish, but in whose you are. You will see that the moments of quiet when it seems you produce nothing are the very moments your soul is reborn. When you stop not to run away but to breathe, to hear your own heart, to notice life pulsing in every cell, to see that I am working all things through you, then you truly live. That is when faith leads instead of fear. Faith is not blind striving. It is the courage to believe that a greater hand is holding you, doing what you cannot do yourself. In such trust you obey not in weakness but in the strength of surrender. Our age imagines obedience as the loss of freedom. In truth, only in obedience is freedom real. For only when you pause before my will are you no longer a slave to ambition, comparison, and the world's noise. The world may say success is standing on the summit. I tell you, success is a heart at peace, even in the valley. A lonely summit chills the soul. Peace amid trial is the truest victory. There are those who think they are climbing, yet are slipping into the ravine of pride and depletion. There are those who think stopping is weakness, when in that very pause they are learning the deepest strength, the strength to trust, to release, to let me lead. Remember, long ago I rested after 6 days of creation, not because I was tired, but to teach humanity that rest is part of creation. That rest was not an ending. It was the steeping of all things in grace. So when you allow yourself to stop, you are not giving up. You are allowing your life to be made new in my light. No one can keep running without exhaustion. No one can keep bracing forever without being wounded. You have strained for so long for recognition, for love, for the promise of not being left behind. But I ask you, if love must be bartered with fear, is it still love? If your worth must be tallied by achievement, is it true worth? Believe this: you do not need to be perfect to be loved by me. You need only to be yourself, frail, tired, yet still willing to draw near, still brave enough to open your heart. Each time you collapse and look up, I am there. Each time you think you are alone, I am standing behind you, quietly holding you up. And when you have no strength left to pray, even your faint breath is a prayer, I understand. The world may measure your value by what you accomplish, but I measure it by every time you dare to return. I love you not for how much you do, but because you are mine. Know that sometimes I allow you to grow weary, not to punish you, but to teach you how to lean on me. For if everything were easy, you would forget that I am the source of your strength. When you are pushed to the edge and what you clutch slips through your fingers, it is not the end. It is the moment you learn to let go so my hands can work. Trust that in the moments that seem meaningless, I am weaving meaning with the thread of love. You may not understand today, but one day looking back you will see that every pause, every breath, every tear was a note in the music I am composing for your life. Let your heart learn to be still. Do not fear the silence, for in it I am speaking to you. Do not fear slowing down, for it may mean you are on the right path. Do not fear loss, for some things must leave, so the empty space can be filled with what is better. Do not fear weakness, for in your weakness my strength is made complete. When you believe this, you will no longer need to labor to prove anything. You will live more lightly, love more freely, and taste each moment more deeply. Then every breath will become thanksgiving, every step a prayer, and every stopping place a touch point with my presence. You will see that the world may be noisy, but your heart can be at peace. The world may hurry you along, but you can move unhurried. The world may count everything by profit, but you will know that true value does not come from that. Living this way, you will no longer be swept along by the current. You yourself will become a clear spring for others. You will see that greatness is not how much you accomplish, but how deeply you live, so that even the smallest things reflect my light. So, child, do not be afraid to rest. Do not be afraid of silence. Do not be afraid of weakness. For in these very places you meet me, the one who never grows weary of loving you. When you learn to stop within my embrace, you will see you need not run any longer, for you have come home. My child, when you learn to listen to what is most delicate, the small, almost invisible whispers, you will feel a gentle transformation begin to bloom within. Your heart will grow lighter, your breath deeper, your steps slower yet surer. Peace will no longer be something you must seek in far-off places. It will become a quiet stream flowing within. It will wind through every cell, every heartbeat, every glance, softening, brightening, and drawing the world near. Then you will realize I have never left you. You were only too busy to hear, too hurried, to feel too afraid to stop. But the moment you dare to listen, the very moment you allow yourself to slow down, you open the door for me to enter. The miracle you have longed for is not the grand upheaval that moves heaven and earth, but the moment you stop before you are spent, breathe deeply when tears are about to fall, and manage a smile, though your heart is not yet at rest. The miracle is not far away. It is your return. Return to the breath, to the present, to the body and soul I shaped with boundless love. When you grasp this, the ordinary becomes wondrous morning light. Through the curtain, a sparrow's call on the roof, tiles, the breeze threading your hair, all become my greeting to you. When you know how to listen, you will live more slowly. Living slowly is not stopping life, but living deeply, living in awareness, in the knowledge that each moment is a gift. You will find that happiness is not where you are going, but where you stand. When you release the frantic pace and cease trying to control everything, you will hear within you a sound faint yet powerful. The sound of true life, of love, of the peace I planted in you from the beginning. That resonance is an invitation. It does not rush, does not clamor, does not threaten. It is gentle as a night wind, steady as a stream murmuring in the deep woods. It is the invitation of peace calling you home, calling you to stop calling you, to let me step into the hidden rooms you have long kept shut. There I will touch the wounds you have concealed, the pains you fear to face, the memories you thought were gone. I will not blame you for running, for being fragile. I long only to heal with you, to wipe your tears, to restore your faith in yourself, the faith that you deserve, peace, happiness, and love without any price. Healing does not begin with forgetting. It begins when you dare to stop and listen. When you listen to your body, You will know when you are tired, when you need rest, when you need to be held. When you listen to your soul, you will recognize the fears still present, the hurts not yet closed. And when you listen with the heart without judgment, without escape, you will hear me. I do not arrive with thunder or lightning, but with warm breath in the stillness. The more you listen, the more you will know I have not gone anywhere. I am here waiting for you to open and feel. Imagine this. Each morning, you awaken without haste. Give a few seconds to the sky, draw one long breath, and feel your own heartbeat. You will discover something wonderful. Peace is not bestowed from outside. It is a current always available within you. It is only veiled by noise, by worry, by the litany of must do and must become the world has taught you to believe. When you begin to trust that you need nothing more to be loved, you have already traveled halfway along the road of healing. I want you to understand that gentleness is not weakness. It is the strength of those who have been broken, who have fallen, who have endured, and still choose love. When you learn to listen, you will learn tenderness toward yourself, no longer resenting your mistakes, no longer angry at your fatigue, no longer demanding that you be strong at every moment. You will learn to release, to forgive, to see every hurt as a crack through which light can enter. And there the miracle happens, not the miracle of sudden transformation, but the miracle of loving yourself again. When you learn to love yourself in the quiet, you will feel my love in all things. A fallen petal, a raindrop on the roof, moonlight through the bars, all are my messages to you. Pause, breathe, and know that you are loved. Peace is not a destination but a way. It begins the moment you stop resisting. Stop trying to be someone else. Stop searching outside for what has always been within. I do not need ornate prayers. I ask that you live with a grateful heart. When you eat and taste the flavor, when you breathe and feel life moving, when you walk and know your feet are steady, then you are praying with your very being. Each mindful moment is incense offered to me. Each peaceful breath is a hymn. And when you live like this, the world around you changes. People will sense in you a gentle light, an energy that flows from a heart that loves, listens, and understands. You need not teach anyone about peace. Your presence itself will bear witness to it. You become a bridge between me and the world, between love and pain, between light and shadow. My child, keep learning to listen not only with your ears, but with your heart. Listen to the smallest movements in your body, the most delicate tremors in your soul, and even to the silence, for at times I speak most in that very silence. When you learn this, you will no longer seek me far away, for I am present in every heartbeat, every breath, every quiet space within you. One day you will know that healing is not a destination, but a journey you take with me. Each step, light each breath, deep each moment, filled with gratitude. Then fear will fade, loneliness will lift, for peace will no longer be something you must hold on to. It will be what you have become. You are peace, you are light, you are the life I breathed into the universe. Therefore, my child, do not search for a miracle, be the miracle. Live slowly, live deeply, live truthfully, so that each day you are reborn in the quiet, and in every pause I will whisper, I am here, you are never alone. There are wounds that never show upon the skin, yet are etched deep in memory, throbbing with each heartbeat like a nameless smoldering ache. You think time has covered them with dust, that you have forgotten, moved on, but a passing glance or careless word can send the old tide surging back, sweeping away the peace you labored to build. Such wounds burn not only where you were hurt, but through your whole being, leaving you both tender and uncertain before your own heart. I know the nights when you lie still, tears soaking the pillow, not for anyone in particular, but for a hollow you cannot name. You do not know why it hurts. You only know your heart burns with a hidden fever, not of the body but of a spirit, not yet at rest, a will not yet willing to release. I have seen every silent tears. No one notices, no one consoles but I. They are not weakness, child. They are the voice of a heart tired from carrying too much resentment and pain. Hatred may look like strength, but it is a hidden fire, slow and ruthless. You cannot see it, yet it scorches every fragment of peace and withers the soul. Each time you revisit the past with anger, you pour oil on that fire. Then you wonder why your heart finds no rest, why joy grows dim, why love has no room. Where anger rules, peace withdraws. Where hatred remains, love cannot grow. You once believed that holding a grudge would protect you from being hurt again. But resentment is not a wall, it is a prison. It locks you in, confining your spirit within the shadows of yesterday. You think you are in control, yet anger is steering you, leaving you drained and estranged from joy. Letting go does not mean excusing another's wrong. It means freeing yourself from a burden you were never meant to carry. When you forgive, it is not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself so you no longer live in the flames, and your heart can grow cool and clear as a stream. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. This is not mere counsel, but a key that opens the door to healing. Peace cannot dwell where storms still rage, just as light cannot enter a room you keep shut from fear. Open your heart even a little, and let my light thread its way in. Let love soothe the torn places, let forgiveness fall like rain upon dry ground, and awaken what you thought had died. Do not fear that letting go is weakness. Only the truly strong dare to forgive. I know some wounds cut so deep you think you will never forget. You do not need to forget. You need only to see them with different eyes, the eyes of compassion. When you look back with understanding, old pain becomes wisdom, and hatred thins like mist before dawn. You will see that those who hurt you are themselves wounded. They harm because they have not learned to love. They injure because they have not been healed. To forgive them is to touch the mercy I have planted within you. You may think that holding on to anger helps you remember what happened, but I want you to understand, this forgiveness is not erasing memory. It is choosing not to let that memory rule the present. You may still remember, but without pain. You may look back and your heart will feel light as drifting cloud. Then you will know you are truly free. For the greatest freedom is not doing whatever you want, but no longer being bound by emotion. You cannot choose how others treat you, but you can always choose how you respond. And if you choose love, choose peace, hatred will find no soil in which to live. My child, I see how many times you try to act normal to smile in front of others, while inside your heart is a battlefield. You fight with memory, with anger, with the sense of injustice. You are tired, yet you dare not admit it. You fear that to forgive would mean you are weak, that you have lost. But you are mistaken. Forgiveness is not defeat. It is victory, victory over the storm within. Forgiveness extinguishes the fire that is consuming your soul. It draws you out of the long night to behold the first light of dawn. When you let go, you lose nothing. You simply return to your heart, its rightful claim to peace. I want you to understand that peace is not something you must search for far away. It has always been within you, only veiled by the smoke of resentment and fear. When you are willing to pause, to breathe deep, to face what is hurting you, you will see that I am still there, gentle, patient, waiting for you to open your heart and receive peace. Do not try to quench fire with fire. Do not answer hurt with vengeance. You need only to love a little more, to understand a little more, and to have greater compassion for your own self. There are things that cannot be changed, people who will not return, but you can choose not to let the past keep wounding you. Each time you release a measure of resentment, you take one step closer to freedom. Imagine your heart as a garden. If you keep watering it with the bitter water of anger, the tree of love will wither. But if you let the peace of Christ flow and the blossoms of kindness, and of faith will bloom again. Do not think I do not understand the losses you have endured. I know I walked with you through each lonely night. I hear even the sobs you dare not voice. And yet I want you to know that even in your wounding you are loved and held. You do not need to be strong to be worthy of that love. You need only to be honest with yourself, with your pain, and with the quiet trust that peace is still real. When you open your heart and let me enter, I will heal, not by spectacle, but by the tenderness of time and grace. One day you will look back and smile, recognizing that your old wounds have turned into light, illuminating the path you walk. You will feel your heart grow calmer, your eyes gentler, your voice softer, for you have ceased to burn yourself with the fire of anger. You have stopped binding yourself with hatred. You have learned to let peace reign in your heart, just as I once whispered to you. And then you will understand. Forgiveness is not merely an act, but a journey, the journey home to your true self, to the love I planted within you from the beginning. Let me walk with you, dear child. Let me soothe the deep wounds. Let the flames of hatred within you gradually die, and let the warmth of peace kindle again in every quiet corner of your heart. Then you will see there is no need to force yourself to forget. You need only to release. Your pain will become the wind and drift away, leaving within you only serenity, gentleness, and a heart that loves without condition. Beloved child, I know that deep within you throbs a wound hard to name, the wound of betrayal. It is not only the pain of lies or cruel deeds, but the pain of trust, trampled of your wholehearted affection, exploited of your sincerity, answered by a cold blade. I see you wanting to scream, to make the other pay, to demand justice as a salvation for a heart that bleeds. But remember, human justice often carries a bitter taste, whereas my justice is always laced with mercy. Each time you clutch resentment, you bind your own soul with chains of your own forging. And painfully, the one most harmed is not the betrayer, but you, the one who cannot loosen your grasp on the past. I do not blame you for your anger. It is the natural reflex of a wounded heart. But you must understand, anger, if not transformed, turns into a fire that scorches peace. Forgiveness is not indulgence, nor is it oblivion. Forgiveness is the choice of a strong soul that prefers freedom to imprisonment. When you hand judgment back to me, you do not lower yourself. You lift your spirit above the pit of hatred. You are saying to me, I trust in your justice, though my eyes cannot see. I trust in your love, though my heart still trembles. That very trust is the key that opens the door of release every soul longs to find. Remember, you cannot carry my cross, for that cross was born to set humanity free, not to crush each person under its weight. I have shouldered every wrong, every betrayal, every pain of the world, including yours. When you try to secure justice by yourself, you forget that there were hands once pierced precisely for that. You need only lay your burden down, for forgiveness is not weakness. It is the courage to keep walking. The more you strain for retribution, the more peace slips away. But when you entrust it to me, you will feel a cool stream washing through your soul, the stream of mercy, the gentleness that only love can bring. I know there are nights when you toss and turn, your heart clenched at the thought of what was done. You ask, how could they treat me so? Why must I endure what I do not deserve? And I keep silence, not because I do not hear, but because I want you to learn to hear your own heart. In that silence I am whispering still, you are not alone, not abandoned. I am here walking with you through the dark. You will come to see that another's betrayal cannot define your worth. It only exposes their limits. When you forgive, you return to yourself the right to live, to love, to smile, unshadowed by the ghosts of the past. My justice is not the justice of this world. The world longs for the offender to suffer. I long for the offender to awaken. People seek revenge. I seek healing. For if every soul only mirrors pain with more pain, the world becomes nothing but tears and hatred. Forgiveness is your way of stopping that storm from sweeping through your heart. Sometimes you need not face the one who hurt you again. It is enough that within you a quiet voice says, "I choose peace," and that is strength. Forgiveness is not forgetting what happened. It is accepting that it did happen and choosing not to let it govern the present. When you forgive, you do not only set others free, you open the door for your own soul to step out of darkness. Resentment is a prison built of fear and pride. Forgiveness is the only door into the light. I do not ask you to love the one who betrayed you as though nothing happened. I ask you to release the binding of the past so you can live fully in the present. Leave justice to me, for I know all things and see every intention of the heart. Nothing escapes my gaze, and yet I choose to judge with mercy, because only love can rescue the world from the endless loop of sin. Remember what I have said, learn from me, for I am gentle and humble of heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Mount 1129. When you learn gentleness, you will no longer wish to wound others, even those who made you bleed. When you learn humility, you will understand that forgiveness is not a favor you bestow, but a return to your noblest nature, where you are no longer ruled by pain. And when you still your heart, you will hear my quiet voice. You need prove nothing more. I know you have suffered, and I know you have chosen love over hatred. I too was betrayed. Do you know this? By a friend who sold me for the price of a slave, by the very people I loved who shouted for my crucifixion. And even as the nails pierced my flesh, I prayed to the Father, "Forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." That forgiveness did not spring from bodily strength, but from a heart that understands hatred only begets hatred, while love alone redeems. You can do likewise, not by your own power, but by the strength of the love I have already sown within you. Each time you choose forgiveness, you make the world a little gentler. You send light into dark places. You mend the severed threads between hearts. Forgiveness is not only a personal act, it is a living prayer. It is how you tell the universe, "I will not pass on suffering. I choose love." And when you do, I smile, for you are living in the image in which I made you, the image of kindness, of light, of life. Let me bear the judgment, for I know when and how justice will unfold. At times, I will lead the other to face consequences by paths they never expected. At times, I will use the very fault to awaken in them a new heart. You need not watch, need not wish them pain, for each person has a road to walk, and the final truth is this: no one escapes my light. Let go, dear child, for when you release, you allow me to enter and heal. One day, looking back, you will see that this pain was not sent to destroy you, but to open you to compassion. From the very place of wounding, you will learn what unconditional love is. And when you can bless with peace the one who betrayed you, then you have become the light this world longs for. You are no longer a victim of the past, but one reborn in grace. Let your heart rest, my child. Do not turn your heart into a battlefield. Let it become a garden where the flowers of forgiveness can bloom and the breezes of peace can pass through. Each time you choose love over hatred, silence over retaliation, you grow a little more like me. And I promise you that peace will come, not loud, not blazing, but deep and enduring, like the dawn filtering softly through the leaves. Let me do what is mine to do, and you do only this: live gently, live humbly, and let your soul find its rest in my love. My beloved child, do not imagine that I expect from you grand exploits or magnificent works that make the world bow in admiration. I do not need you to climb the highest peak to find me, nor to cross far-off seas to prove your faith. I want you simply to live each day wholeheartedly, beginning with the small things you have long considered trivial. It is within those simple moments that your soul is nourished, and you will discover that I have always been there, not distant, not hidden, but present in every breath, in every gaze, in every faint ray of light, threading its way through your life. When you lift a cup of water to your lips with mindful awareness, when you feel the cool stream pass down your throat, you are cleansing your soul of the dust of indifference. An action that seems unremarkable, yet if you do it conscious that it is a grace I give you, will find your heart growing still, and a quiet gratitude will begin to bloom like a flower in the desert. When you walk through the morning and let the sunlight touch your skin, it is not merely a moment of standing in the sun, it is grace soaking deep into your soul. That light does more than warm your body. It illumines the innermost places within you, where hidden corners open, where sorrows are soothed, where I stand silently waiting for you to notice. My child, at times, I want you simply to stop, not to do anything but to breathe. One long, deep breath, not to stretch out life, but to remember that I am its very source. Each time you inhale, you receive me. Each time you exhale, you return thanksgiving. No ornate petitions are needed. No complicated rites. One conscious breath is prayer at its most sincere. For I am not far away. I am within the rhythm of your life, in every cell, every movement, every heartbeat. I do not ask you to sing praises aloud. I ask you to live with praise within. The world will tell you that you must be busy, must strive, must prove your usefulness to have worth. It will teach you to tally accomplishments and victories as though the value of a soul could be measured by what it achieves. But I am different. I teach you that your worth lies in your very being. You are precious, not because of what you can do, but because of who you are. My beloved child, shaped by my breath and my love. The world urges you to run faster, lest you be left behind, while I urge you to stop so you do not lose yourself. While others press you to climb higher, I gently tell you to bend low, to touch the earth, to remember you belong to your beginnings, the place of peace, of simplicity, of truth. Do you know this? Every mindful gesture is a thanksgiving. When you wash your face at dawn, remember it is the sign of a new beginning. When you listen to birdsong, know the universe is inviting you into the rhythm of grace. When you smile at someone, even for an instant, you are giving away the light I have placed in your heart. Do not search for me in far-off things, for I am present in the small details you have neglected. A wildflower by the roadside, a soft breeze that brushes your hair, the sound of rain upon the roof. All are ways I whisper that I am here present, loving, yet you have grown accustomed to noise. You are swept along by the machinery of work, of social media, of relentless calculation. You fear silence, fear the empty space, for within that space you will hear my voice, and perhaps that voice makes you tremble. You think silence is useless, that stopping is weakness, but it is not so, my child. In stopping you find true strength. In silence you hear what the world cannot say. When you allow yourself to slow down, you open the door for peace to enter. And when peace comes, you will find there is nothing left to chase, for all is already given here in this very moment. I know you long to do great things, to offer me dazzling works. Yet what I desire is disarmingly simple love. Love in every look, in every word, in every small deed, unseen by others. When you care for the sick, when you forgive, though your heart still aches, when you choose silence instead of answering with anger, then you are doing the extraordinary. For the extraordinary is not found in the scale of the act, but in the depth of the love. Do not underestimate small things. A single drop of water can cool a parched soul. A gentle word can rescue a heart from despair. A sincere smile can brighten an entire dark day. When you live in gratitude, every moment becomes sacred. And when you live in love, everything you do, even the least of things, becomes a prayer. My child, the world will always push you to do more, faster, better. I ask you to live deeper. Let each thing you do, however simple, be filled with soul. When you eat, eat with gratitude for the food that sustains you. When you work, work with love for the chance to contribute to the world. When you speak, speak with kindness. When you listen, listen with an open heart. That is how you will find me, not in far-off temples, but in this very life, in each passing moment. Do not think I am distant, for I live within the cadence of your days. I am in the laughter of children, in the breath of the elderly, in the ceaseless flow of time. I am there when you weep, when you are weary, when you fall silent, when you rejoice. I have never departed. You simply have not paused long enough to see. Slow down, my child. Let your heart have time to notice the wonder within the ordinary, to hear my voice amid the many noises. For in the end, what I desire from you is not victories or titles, but a heart that can feel, that can be moved, that knows how to give thanks. Such a soul is the most beautiful sanctuary I long to dwell in. You need not bring me lavish offerings, only a sincere heart, a warm gaze, a deed full of love. And when you live this way, you will not only find me, you will find yourself in peace, in light, in a love that never fades. Now, my child, lift up your soul and offer me the prayers that rise from your deepest heart, no longer the voice of fear, but the breath of faith and surrender. Lord, I have walked too long within the whirlwind of this world, chasing the calls of fame, wealth, and approval. I am so very tired, O Lord. I have tried to be loved, tried not to be left behind, tried to prove that I have worth. Yet the more I try, the emptier I feel. Now I ask to stop and rest my head upon your heart, to hear again your heartbeat within me. Teach me to rest in your love, to set down every burden I have clutched for so long. Help me understand that I do not bring all things into being, but that you are the one who works through me. Let my faith be greater than my fear, and let my silence become my deepest thanksgiving to you. Lord Jesus, you have known weariness. You sat by the well thirsty. You slept amid the storm. You were alone in the Garden of Olives. Teach me to learn from you, to stop amid life's clamor, to listen to my own heart, and to let you speak to me in the quiet. Help me to see that weakness is not failure, but an opening for your glory. Pour into my heart a spirit of humility, that I may not race the world but walk with you, slowly yet steady, small yet enduring, weak yet filled with your power. I thank you for giving me a body that, though frail, is wondrous. Every breath, every heartbeat bears witness to your living love. Thank you for the fatigue that teaches me to rest, for limitations that teach me humility. Grant that I may always live in gratitude, so that not a single moment of my life is wasted before your boundless grace. I offer thanks that you have not abandoned me in my weariness, but have used my weaknesses to lead me home. Thank you for teaching me to love myself without falling into selfishness, to rest without fearing laziness, to live slowly so I can hear your voice. Let my heart be ever alive with thanksgiving, for every moment lived in this body is life within the embrace of the Father. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong community of faith.